What if the Gnostics discover the true steps, secret steps that could allow your soul to pass through the arches after death? Because in a hidden text called the First Apocalypse of James, Jesus himself gave his brother the exact phrases to speak when facing the guardians of the cosmic portals. And if you say the wrong thing, your soul is sent back to the trap. Many people believe that when they die, they will face the judgment of a beloved God or be reunited with their loved ones. But the Gnostics taught something far more unexpected. They warned that death is the beginning of a test, a cosmic interrogation where your soul will be stopped and questioned by beings who claim authority over your destiny. And if you don't know the right answers, you will be sent back to the cycle of birth and death, again and again. This is not a metaphor. According to the First Apocalypse of James, hidden for over 1,600 years, this is exactly what happens when your body dies. And in this forbidden scripture, Jesus reveals to James the only thing that could save the soul from being recycled. Not faith, not good deeds, but steps, secret names that force the Archons to separate. The question is, why would Jesus need to take steps for his brother? Why would the soul need to defend itself after death? And who are these beings that stand between you and true liberation? The answers may shatter everything you've been told about the challenge. Because what the Gnostics discovered was not a story of divine mercy and eternal rest. It was a story of cosmic deception, of kings masquerading as gods, and of a system developed to deceive souls in an endless struggle of oblivion and suffering. In this video, we will explore the First Apocalypse of James, one of the most mysterious and powerful texts found in the Nag Hammadi library. You will learn what Jesus told his brother about the soul's journey after death, why Archons guard the gates to the higher realms, and, most importantly, the exact words and phrases that the Gnostics believed could take you beyond the prison of matter. This is not the story you were taught in Sunday school. This is hidden knowledge that the early church concealed, which was labeled heresy and attempted to erase from history. But the truth survived, and if you are ready to hear it, it can change not only how you view death, but how you live your life now. Long before the Bible became the official scripture, there were various ancient Christian scriptures. Some told famous stories about Jesus, but others spoke of hidden kingdoms, cosmic realms, and secret knowledge. Among them was the First Apocalypse of James, a dialogue between Jesus and his brother James. The word apocalypse means revelation or unveiling, and that is what this text is. A revelation of what lies beyond death, beyond the material world, and beyond the authority of the rulers who govern this kingdom. In the First Apocalypse of James, Jesus is a revealer of mysteries, a teacher of Gnosis, a guide who prepares his brother for the journey that awaits every soul after death. The text begins with James asking Jesus about suffering, about why true seekers must survive persecution, and what happens when the body dies. Jesus responds not with promises of heaven or warnings of hell, but with something radical. He tells James that the physical world was not created by the true God, but by a less powerful force, the demiurge. And this false governor, along with his servants, the Archons, constructs a system to keep souls imprisoned, endlessly cycling through birth, death, and rebirth. But Jesus does not leave James defenseless. He gives him a map for following, complete with the names of the Archons guarding the gates, the questions they will ask, and the exact answers that will grant passage. This is a manual for spiritual survival. And if you don't possess this knowledge, no amount of belief or virtue will save you from being pulled back into the cycle. James's First Apocalypse was discovered in 1945, along with dozens of other Gnostic texts, hidden in a sealed jar near the city of Nag Hammadi, Egypt. For more than 16 centuries, these scriptures had been hidden, lost to the world, waiting for the moment when humanity would be ready to remember what had been forgotten. And what they reveal is shocking. Because according to these texts, survival is not a place of rest or reward. It is a battlefield, a place where the soul must fight for its freedom, armed not with weapons but with knowledge. So who are the Archons, and why do they guard the gates of discipleship? To understand this, we must first understand the Gnostic view of creation. According to Gnostic cosmology, the universe we inhabit was not created by the supreme God. Instead, it was created by a flabby being who believed himself to be the only God. This being is called the demiurge, and in some texts he is called Yaldabaoth, a being with a serpent's body and a lion's face. Yaldabaoth created the universe because of ignorance and desire, and to maintain control he modified the Archons, beings who govern the planets, the stars and the cycles of time, into himself. There are 7 planetary Archons, 12 zodiacal Archons, and, according to some texts, 365 Archons in total, ensuring that every moment of human existence is under their protection. The Archons are not demons from hell. They are cosmic bureaucrats, forces of the system, whose existence depends on keeping souls imprisoned. And they do this through forgetting. Each time a soul reincarnates, it forgets who it truly is. It forgets its divine origin, its connection to the pleroma, the realm of true light. And in this state of amnesia, it becomes easy to control, easy to recycle. But here's the key. The Archons cannot touch the divine space within you. They can't destroy it. What they can do is make you forget it exists, and while you're asleep, while you sleep, you identify with the body and the roles you play. They have power over you, but the moment you remember, the moment you awaken to your true nature as a fragment of the infinite source, the moment you become your own source, their power crumbles. That is why the Gnostics placed so much importance on gnosis, on direct inner knowledge. Because gnosis is not belief, it is not faith, it is recognition. It is the soul remembering what it always was. And when that memory awakens, the illusions of the Archons lose their grip. This is the knowledge that Jesus gave to James, not a promise of salvation through faith alone, but a roadmap to liberation through consciousness. Jesus describes the moment when the soul confronts the rulers. He tells James, "When they detain you and ask you who you are and where you come from, you must say, 'I am a child of the Father, the one who existed before all things. I came from the light, from the place where the light entered into being through itself alone. And I am returning to my place. When you speak these words, the Archons will be silenced. They will have no power over you." This is the essence of Gnostic liberation. It is not about escaping the world through death. It's about seeing through the illusion while you're still alive, so that when death comes, you're prepared, you're awake, you're armed with the knowledge that can set you free. But the steps alone are not enough. The Gnostics understood that true liberation requires more than memorizing secret phrases. It requires a transformation of consciousness, a shift in identity. You must stop seeing yourself as a body with a soul and begin to see yourself as a soul temporarily inhabiting a body. You must stop identifying with your fears, your desires, your connections to the material world, because these are the belts the Archons use to pull you back. In James's first apocalypse, Jesus warns his brother that the journey after death will not be easy. There are moments of fear, moments of doubt, moments when the soul is trying to return. But he also tells him that those who have Gnosticism, those who have awakened their true nature, will not be rejected. They will recognize the false light. They will see through the illusions. And this is where practical teachings become so important. Preparation for death begins now. At this moment, every time you meditate, every time you turn your consciousness inward, every time you question your thoughts, you are training for the journey. You are strengthening your ability to discern truth from illusion, to recognize the divine mirror within you, and to eagerly await that recognition. The Gnostics also taught that the soul should practice detachment, not cold indifference, but detachment from identification with time and material things. This doesn't mean you should stop caring about your life. It means you should stop believing that these things define who you are, because when you die, you will leave everything behind. Jesus tells James in the text, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, because they cannot touch the soul, but be afraid of those who can disappoint the soul, because they can bring it into darkness." This is the warning at the heart of the first apocalypse of James. The real danger is not physical death. The real danger is spiritual disappointment. So how do you cultivate this gnosis? The Gnostics offered several practices. The first is personal observation. View your thoughts as an outside observer. See how the thoughts arise. Ask yourself, who is watching? This awareness is the divine mirror within you. The second practice is remembrance. During your day, remember your true nature. Tell yourself, I am not this body. I'm not that personality. I'm a fragment of infinite light. This simple act dissolves the layers of oblivion. The third practice is facing fear. The Archons live in fear, but when you consciously confront your fears with awareness, you begin to see that most of them are illusions. And as their relationship with fear changes, the power of the Archons diminishes. The Gnostics also undertake to study sacred texts not as dogma to be believed, but as maps to be explored. The first apocalypse of James is one of these maps. He describes the terrain of the journey, the beings you will encounter, and the strategies they use to deceive. By familiarizing yourself with this terrain now, you prepare yourself for the journey ahead. But perhaps the most important lesson is this. The steps are not magic mirrors. They are expressions of realized Gnostics. If you speak the words, but do not engage with the consciousness they represent, they will have no power. But if you have truly awakened to your divine origin, then words become a natural expression of that recognition. Jesus tells James that he who has Gnosticism is immortal. Not immortal in the sense of living forever in a physical body, but immortal in recognizing the eternal nature of the soul. And when you recognize this, when you truly know it as lived reality, then death loses its power over you. It doesn't become an end but a transition. So what happens to the soul that doesn't have Gnosticism? According to the Gnostics, these souls are easily discarded. When the tunnel of light appears, when the familiar voices call to them, they do not question it. They follow the light, accept the judgment, and agree to return. And in doing so, they willingly walk back to the trap. But the soul that possesses Gnosticism sees through the deception. It recognizes the false light for what it is. And when the arcana demand answers, the wasted soul stands firm and declares its true origin. I am a child of the Father. I came from the light, and I am returning to my place. These are not just words to remember. They are truths to embody. And when you embody them, when you live your life from that place of recognition, then death does not become a frightening unknown, but a sacred return. A return to the pleroma, the realm of true light, where the soul reunites with its source and is freed from the cycles of birth and death forever. The first apocalypse of James is not the only Gnostic text that speaks of steps to follow. Similar teachings appear in the Apocrypha of John, the Epistle of Sophia, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Across cultures and centuries, mystics have spoken of hidden knowledge that could guide the soul through the realms of death. And while the details vary, the core message remains the same. The discipleship is not automatic salvation or punishment. It is a journey, a test, a labyrinth that the soul must navigate consciously. And perhaps that is why these teachings were provided. They put power back in the hands of the individual. They say you don't need a prince to intercede for you. What you need is gnosis. What you need is to remember who you truly are. And when you remember, you become dangerous to control systems, both terrestrial and cosmic. The early church fathers understood this threat. They saw how Gnostic teachings empowered individuals to seek direct experience of the divine, to question authority, to trust their own inner knowing. And so they worked to suppress these teachings, to destroy the books, to silence the teachers, to label Gnosticism as heresy. But the truth survived, hidden in jars beneath the desert jungle, waiting for humanity to be ready. And that day is now. Because we are living in a time of awakening, where more people are questioning the narratives that have been given, searching for deeper truths and remembering their divine origin. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi texts in 1945 was not an accident. It was a sign, calling humanity to awaken, remember, and reclaim the knowledge that has been stolen. So if you've come this far, if you've felt a resonance with these teachings, then you are part of this awakening. You are one of the souls who is ready to remember. And the question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you ignore it and continue living as if death will never come? Or will you take it seriously? Begin the practices, cultivate gnosis, and prepare for the path. Gnosticists believe that liberation requires effort, awareness, and courage. It requires you to question everything, see through illusions, and eagerly await the recognition of your true nature. And when you do that, life itself changes. You stop being a victim. You stop chasing illusions. You stop feeding the Archons. And you begin to taste the freedom that was always your birthright. Because in the end, that's the biggest secret of all. You are never truly imprisoned. You are only meant to forget. And the moment you remember, the prison dissolves. The Archons lose their power and the soul ascends, without limits, without bounds, to the infinite light of the pleroma. The wisdom that the Gnostics preserved is not to be cursed. It is to be shared, studied, and lived. Every person who awakens, every soul that remembers, shames the control of the Archons, because the prison only works as long as we believe in it. The moment we see through the illusion, the walls begin to crumble. So as you leave this video, carry this question with you. When your time comes, when death arrives and the light appears, will you remember? Will you recognize the false from the true? Will you speak the words of the past that guarantee your passage? The choice has always been yours. The power has always been within you, and the wisdom that can set you free has been waiting for you all along. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you believe lies beyond the darkness? Have you had experiences that resonate with these ancient teachings? Your insights could awaken others who are searching for the same truth. And if you found value in this exploration, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Gnosticoi. We uncover hidden wisdom every week, discovering the secrets they tried to hide. Activate the notification bell so you never miss a revelation. Because the journey doesn't end here. There are more mysteries to reveal, more truths to remember. Stay awake, stay conscious. And remember, the awakened soul cannot be imprisoned.